thank all of you for being a part of this weekend. I think I mentioned to you before that there's a lot of different opportunities for players now to take advantage in football. And we're growing the game, especially here in Canada, and we're providing more opportunities. But I know, just in talking to many, there has never been a group come from the United States as a separate all-star group the way that we have this weekend. So I really want to thank all of the players and coaches that came from the United States to join us for this weekend. So please give them a hand. Thank you guys. I also wanted to thank Manny. I don't know where he is right now. I think he's probably out getting some food. There he is! All right. So Manny and I have got to know each other several years ago and put together a couple opportunities for us to go visit him down in Vegas and then San Jose. Had some great opportunities, and he said, hey, I want to come to Canada one day. So this started 5 years ago, probably before that when we started talking about, so it's nice to have him come up here, like I said, with those American players. And they had some challenges for sure, you know, passport issues, travel, etc. But we're so glad that you persevered and got up here. Thanks so much for that.
A few words and then I'm gonna go eat.
Yeah, can I just say something? Manny, just before Christmas, had a scare. And for many people, we didn't know he was going to be here. He had heart problem and quadruple. Sixtuple. I don't know what that's called. Sextuplet. Heart bypass surgery. So we're really obviously happy that you're here with us and that we were able to put this weekend together. So I appreciate you coming back, and he's looking good.
So I want to thank Dino for having us, and like he said, you know, October 25th I had surgery, so everything was put on hold. My parents didn't know what was going on, and my family took my phone away and all my ability to work, obviously, because I was recovering. And so this trip has been a challenge, but I told Dino we're coming, one way or the other. And some of the kids fell short on fundraisers, so we went ahead and rented a van. We drove up here 36 hours to play, and then we leave the Sunday right after the game. Bam, 32 hours, non-stop. So we got 3 drivers. My partner over there, Stormy, me, him, my wife, and we got like 6 kids with us. So I gave him my word, and this time has been a challenge. The passports, the cell phones, mostly crossed over. We didn't realize that. The currency exchange. But the one thing that's been great is the hospitality that Dino and the kindness of the Canadian people. You guys are very friendly. I think my coach said it best. He said, man, we've been in Canada and we've only had one person that's been not friendly. And we called him, where's Isaac? What did we call him yesterday? The Canadian Rock. That's what we called him. Everybody knows the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, right? Well, the hotel manager told me he couldn't have beer in the lobby. And he goes, man, he's being rude. I said, no, but that's just the way the rules are. So we call him the Canadian Rock. Because he was a big guy coming up there, you can't have beer here. But the people here have been friendly. The kids are great. We look forward to expanding this program, making it an annual thing. The response has been received real well in the U.S. For my kids, the feedback has been great. Everything's good. So now we'll gear up for Canada, but then we have our events. So we have an event in San Antonio coming up in May. Then we have one in Wichita coming up in June. And then we're going back to Puerto Rico June 2020. Because we've been to Puerto Rico 3 times, San Jose, San Antonio, and now Canada. So we're looking at coming back here. It's Connie. That's one of our sponsors over there. Everybody say hi. Hey. Yeah, so looking forward to it, and we're going to make this probably the biggest event in the world of its kind. what our goal is, and I think it's only going to grow. So thank you for having us here, and hopefully our kids and our parents behaved well, and if not, tell Dino, and you can tell me, and I'll take care of it later.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So we're going to continue. There's just a couple of things we have. Really, this opportunity to get together was an opportunity to bring the players and families together, ask some questions, get to know each other.
This for you, my brother from all.
All right. So it's really for you to get to know each other and more about football and the opportunities here. One of the guys that can do that is up next. Lee Barette is a guy that started Canada Football Chat and 10 years ago, and really provided it as an opportunity for Canadian players to get more exposure. I'm going to let him kind of fill in a lot of the where it's come to, but I can't emphasize enough what he does for football and exposure in Canada for amateur players. So Lee Barette.
Thanks, everyone. Probably won't be as much hugging in this presentation. So, this is also going to be on our Recruiting Masters podcast. So I'm going to give you some information. If you don't write it down or something, you can visit our podcast. It'll be uploaded in the next couple days. Want to thank everyone that's here. Want to thank the parents. Want to thank the players. Want to thank our American friends, and want to thank Dino for putting this together on the ground, and all of our volunteers. They've done a tremendous job, so one more time, give those people a hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to briefly go through what CFC is, how you can leverage CFC to your advantage. I'm going to talk about our events. I'm going to explain what the CanadaFootballChat.com prospect game is and what the how you get into that game. And then I'm going to answer some questions, not from the audience. I'm going to answer questions that we get most frequently. I'm not going to take any audience questions, but I will be around later, so I can definitely answer those one-on-one. So if you want to ask any other questions, feel free to stick around after. First of all, the vision of CanadaFootballChat.com. This is something our staff goes through continually in meetings, and I'm going to read it to you right now. The goal of CanadaFootballChat.com is to be the best high school football recruiting media and events company, focusing on player advocacy. So that's our guiding light. So everything that we do, whether it be online with our media exposure or in our events, we're putting the players first. Okay, so when you see something on our site, it's all about the players. So sometimes that isn't great for the coaches, sometimes that's not for the parents. However, it's all about the players. So understand that's our first guiding light. As far as our media exposure and what we do on the site, we have a few things. We've gotten into the podcast world in the last 7-8 months. There's some great information on there. If you're someone who listens to a podcast in your car, on your phone, whatever it is, there's lots of great information on there, whether it be our daily update, our Recruiting Masters, or some of our other properties that we've launched. As far as what we have on the site in text form, we do a lot of player profiles. Okay, one of the most frequent questions we have is how do I get a player profile, which I'll answer in a second. We do some rankings. Okay, tends to be the most polarizing topic on our site. However, the rankings, I'll discuss those in a second, what our criteria are. And as far as we track athletes and when they commit to different universities, whether it be south or north of the border. So we don't discriminate, where people go. We're all about promoting Canadian players. That's on the Canadian players, whether they're good enough to go in Canada or the United States. That's not something for us to judge. We're just going to track that stuff. So just understand when you're on our site, it's all about the players first. There's going to be NCAA exposure. There's going to be Canadian exposure, we're cheering all of you, okay? So as far as the events that we have, the Fox 40 Prospect Challenge, which is this event, this is its third time in Vancouver. We've done it, this will be our 6th year in Ontario, so we're very proud of our expansion this year in Vancouver with regards to our American friends, but also, if you didn't realize, we have a bunch of players from the prairies. We have someone actually from Ontario, Fort Francis, just on the Manitoba border. We've got a few Manitoba players, a few Saskatchewan players, and a few Alberta players here. We appreciate you taking the traveling, and it always makes it it's a better event when we get outside of our little world. So you get to meet new players, you get to build relationships, and the great thing about sports and football is that you build relationships that you're going to have for life. So I hope you take advantage of the relationships and the people that you meet this weekend and throughout your career, because those are my best friends are all guys I played football with and coached with, and so it's something that you take advantage of for the rest of your life that you'll be rewarded for. So I encourage you to go up to that person from Saskatchewan, and vice versa if you're someone from Saskatchewan. Go up and meet them, you know, have a chat with them, broaden your horizons. As far as our events, so the Fox 40 Prospect Challenge, we have this event, and we have a couple other events. We have some combines and showcases, and what we use those for is to evaluate you. We're continually evaluating you, and I'll talk a little bit more specifically what we're evaluating, but we're continually evaluating you. So if you're someone, and you're probably not in this room, but if you're someone who doesn't come out to our events, it's tough for us to evaluate you, tough for us to rank you, and tough for us to give you that exposure. It's got to be a two-way street, okay? As far as the CanadaFootballChat.com prospect game, so this is, as Dino said, we're in our 10th year, and we're very proud. This has taken us 5 years to get this game. So the game will be televised on TSN. It's for the criteria for the players. You're born in 2002 or 2003, and you're on track to qualify as a national in the CFL. Basically means you're Canadian, okay? So obviously if you're a younger guy, you got some time, and next year will be 2003 and 2004. So this is the first evaluator for that process. We're flying to Winnipeg. We have Winnipeg on Wednesday, we've got Calgary on Friday, the following week, Toronto on Monday, and Montreal on Wednesday. After that, our star-studded selection crew, which is 33 of some top Canadian football evaluators. The selection committee will be released on Monday or Tuesday. We'll put that out on the site. They're going to use not only the evaluation in the combines, but also your game film, etc. And then we're going to come up with the roster. The roster will be announced, the rosters will be announced on the CFL Draft Show on TSN on May 2nd. And then the game, like I said, is June 1st. Players will fly into Ottawa. It's being played at TD Place Stadium where the Red Blacks play. They'll fly into Ottawa on Wednesday, practice Thursday, Friday with a star-studded staff. Play the game on Saturday, and then you can get to watch yourself on TSN. So we believe this is a game breaker. We know this is a game breaker. This is the first ever event like this for football in Canada. The first ever event ever for this kind of event in Canada. So we're very proud of that. There's going to be some happy players and there's going to be some unhappy players. We understand that. Whenever you're picking a final roster, people won't always agree, and that's fine. Okay, so all I want to do is wish you all the best of luck in the evaluation, which we've already been doing, by the way. Okay, the last thing I'm going to just answer a few of the questions that we get frequently on CFC. Should a Canadian subscribe to an online American recruiting service? Okay, so the general answer is usually no. I'll tell you what some of those services are. They'll get your money, and what they do is then they sell your information to the American schools so that they'll invite you to your camp. But here's the secret. You can just sign up for those camps. Okay? So, again, I'd advise you 99 times out of 100 not to, if it's just an online service. Okay? So that's a popular question that we get. How do I get ranked? Why do I go up and down in my rankings? You're ranked and you're evaluated first with your measurables, height, weight, okay, depending on your position. Second with your testing results. Third with your football ability. But hear me, if you don't pass number 1 and 2, it doesn't matter how good a football player you are. That's just how it works when you're moving up to the next levels, whether it be high school to college or college to the pros. Okay, you have to pass the eyeball test, as they say, the measurables, then you have to pass the athletic test. So that's why it was a great event this morning. There's a lot of guys out there that have never done a combine. So that's a great way to start, because those are very important things. Okay, you're not going to get noticed or without going to combines, and if you're a little guy, you got to run a 40. If you're a big guy, you got to have the measurables, but you got to be athletic as well. Okay? Why do I go up and down? And maybe you're just not getting out there. You know, the freaky athletes will always be recognized. Those are going to be the guys at the top. That's just how it is. That's the reality. And then the guys underneath those guys, there's usually a lot of variance just because, you know, you just might not have played well that last season, your game film's not great, or you just didn't test well. So things that you can do to help yourself is your off-season training, okay? Off-season training will help you immensely. It's usually a difference maker is how well you compete in the off-season. Tips on game film. Put your best clips first. Don't hide it at minute 7. No coach listens to the music. They turn the volume down. If you're going to put music on it, make sure there's no lyrics on it. And if you put it on YouTube, it might get banned from YouTube if you have lyrics on it. No coach wants to hear any lyrics. Don't put lyrics on your game film. And it really doesn't have to be more than 3 or 4 minutes, because I don't watch more than 2 minutes. Okay, so don't put your best clips first in order, because after the 3rd clip, that coach might turn it off if your best clips weren't first, okay? How do I improve my 40? There's lots of help you can get, but I'll give you 3 real simple answers. Learn how to start, get strong, get lean. Too many guys are not lean enough to perform those drills this morning. Get lean, all right? Get strong, learn how to start. Learn how to start. How do I get noticed? How do I get a profile? What is CFC going to do for me? So we're here to profile everyone. We're not going to rank everyone. Ranks are merit-based, but we want to profile all of you. We want to expose you. So the first thing you need to do is upload your film for free on our site. Go to the prospect video section, upload your film. The second thing you want to do is nominate either your friend or yourself or your son for a profile or for something. We have nomination forms. Go on there. We want to profile it. Some of you guys make it hard by not responding to us, okay? But we want to profile you. How do I read my profile? So the CFC Insider is our membership. Okay, it's of, we believe, great value. There's lots and lots of information. The dangerous thing about CFC is it's a bit of a big monster. So take your time, go through it. There's recruiting tips on the site. There's profiles on the top players in Canada, which you can measure yourself against. The subscription is $13.95 a month, or 25% off if you get an annual subscription. The more people we have subscribed to the site, the more writers that we can have. We have full-time staff across the country, and we look forward to profiling you all. So I know that we've definitely reached out to everyone in this room. So if you don't have a profile, make sure you contact CFC. We'll get a profile on you. We reached out to everyone on this room. I'd say of the 160-ish players in the FPC from Canada, probably about, Katie, how many would have responded? 40?
Maybe.
Probably 40. So again, that's the two-way street. All right, what are we going to do for you? We're going to promote you as much as we can, but it's got to be a two-way street. Okay, so make sure we're happy. We're cheering for you. We don't care what your first name or last name is. We're just here to promote Canadian players. So we, again, I'll be around here for any other questions that you have. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. And I appreciate all the people, especially the ones who traveled from a far distance. And I want to thank you again. Thanks.